Hello and welcome to Roma Loves Yoga. We're going to start lying down today, so just bring yourself into a comfortable position and allow your body to take up space. We're going to continue our journey through the Kleshas, exploring Raga, our attachment today. This attachment is the attraction for things that bring us satisfaction. It is not that we shouldn't be satisfied. Of course, that's a completely natural thing. When we obtain what we want, those feelings of pleasure soon fade, and then we find ourselves on an endless cycle in pursuit of that temporary pleasure. When we seek that joy, but are unable to be present in the moment to actually experience it, because our awareness tells us it won't last forever. Have you ever heard yourself say, "I'll be happy when," insert here, or "Oh no, I'll be happy if I can just get." If we can shift our perception and behaviour to be free of disappointment and loss, even when things work out the way we want, and when they don't. When we think of being non-attached, we often think of maybe being aloof, rather than simply letting go of our attachment and the need to control outcomes. Being able to do this is where yoga says that we can truly connect with the things and the people around us. During your practice today, try to be present in those moments of joy without trying to hold on to them. Just bring some small movements into the body and gently bring yourself up to a seated position. However you've naturally crossed your legs, just take the other leg so that it comes on top of it. It might feel a little bit weird, but that's okay. Flex your feet underneath the knees to protect them. And let's make sure that spine is nice and long, crown of the head floating up towards the ceiling. Take the hands out in front of you and interlace them, pushing the heels of the hands away from you. Then float the hands up towards the ceiling, just making sure that you can still relax your shoulders. If you feel that tightness there, then just drop the hands forward slightly so that you can relax those shoulders away from the ears. Just take a deep breath here. Make sure the chin is still parallel to the floor. And as you exhale, place the left hand on the floor and lean towards the left hand side. Take a deep breath in and release a breath out. Bring the hand back to being interlaced above you, shoulders relax. Take a breath here and breathe out. Drop the right hand now and lean towards the right hand side. Taking a deep breath in and releasing a breath out. Bring the hands back up and then just allow them to fall down to the sides. Bring the hands onto the knees now and just isolate the top half of the body away from the bottom and just take some circles here, moving through the pelvis and the hips, going clockwise to begin with. Make the movement as big or small as feels good for you today. Then let's take it the other way. Again, just creating those circles and gently coming to stillness. Just raise the chin up towards the ceiling, careful not to dump the weight into the back of the neck, and just draw those shoulder blades towards each other, opening up across the chest. Just take a breath here. And as you exhale, bring yourself back to neutral. From here, interlacing the hands once more, pushing the heels of the hands away from you, taking the hands up towards the ceiling, relaxing through the shoulders, chin parallel to the floor. Inhale, stretching up, exhale, leaning towards the left. Just go as far as you still feel balanced. Head is in the middle of the hands. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, leaning the other way. Inhale, coming back to center. Inhale, going to the left. Inhale, coming back to center. And then going the other way once more. Coming back to center, bring the hands back to the knees here. Let's move through some seated cat and cows. As you inhale, roll those shoulders back, taking the chest up towards the ceiling. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin here, curling through the spine. Inhale, chest opens up towards the sky. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin. Move with your breath here. Go at your own pace. Just enjoy that flexion up and down the spine. And then coming back to seated, and we're going to make it over into our box position here. Spread into those fingers underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Draw that belly button towards the spine, and let's take some hip circles here, going clockwise to begin with. Getting into those shoulders and those hips. Again, make these circles as big as feels good for you. You can really take the weight into the shoulders and then bring it right back towards the heels. Or you can just take smaller circles here. Either way, going the other way now. We're just getting some of that nice synovial fluid into our joints, breaking down any of that hard tissue. And then pausing here, stretch that left foot, that left toe back, and then push into the heel so that you feel a stretch down the back of the leg. Then pivot that foot so the sole of the foot is firmly into the floor, and take that left hand and float it up towards the ceiling. Take a breath here, and then if you want to challenge the core a little bit further, you can stretch that left arm over the head. Just notice those little movements, those little corrections the body's making to keep you stable. And then bring the hand back down and come back into your box. From here, let's take a puppy pose. So leave the buttocks over the knees, stretch the arms out in front of you, and melt that heart down towards the chest. Pick how much you want to press into those hands to feel the stretch across the top of the back and the shoulders. Deep breath in. Release a breath out. Bringing the hands one step closer to you, and then tucking the toes and pushing up into our first downward dog. Set the feet hip distance apart. Make sure the weight is moving through the base of the thumb. Chest is moving back towards the thighs. Bend those knees as much as you need to get the straight spine. Take a full breath in here. And release a full breath out. Allow all of the air to escape. Don't cheat yourself. Keep breathing until all the air is gone. Inhaling here. And then as you exhale, bringing yourself down into the box position once more. Let's get into those hip circles again. Let's go clockwise to begin with. Just make sure you're pulling the belly button in towards the spine so you're not hanging out on the lower back. Let's go the other way. That's great. Okay, coming to stillness, stretching that right toe back now. Push into the heel, feel the stretch down the back of that right leg. pivoting the foot and then floating that right hand up towards the ceiling. If you want to challenge the core a little bit more, stretch that arm overhead, stretching into the fingertips here. We've lengthened the lever, so the core has to do a little bit more work, and you may start to feel the body just moving a little bit as you try to balance. Bring that right hand back down, coming back to your box position, set up for that puppy pose, taking the hands out, melting the heart down towards the mat here. One breath here. Drawing the hands a little bit closer towards you, tucking the toes, moving the hips back and high. Settle into your downward dog. We're just taking one breath in here and a breath out. Gentle bend in the knees here, looking up towards the hands. Walk the feet up to meet them. And inhale, coming to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming all the way up into your mountain, hands up to the sky. Exhale, bringing the hands to heart center. So let's start a gentle but energizing flow here. Inhale, take the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, come down into your forward fold. Inhale, coming into your halfway lift, shoulders are open. Exhale, bringing the hands towards the floor, taking that right foot back into a low lunge now. Just settle into your lunge, making sure that that knee isn't overshooting the ankle, and you can feel the stretch down the front of the back leg. As we exhale now, pivot the weight towards the back of the mat. Peel the left toe away from the floor and feel that stretch down the back of the leg. Maybe just allow a little micro bend in the knee so you're not hanging out in your joint. Bring the chest towards the leg if you want to feel the stretch a little more intensely. And then as we inhale, coming back to your lunge, bringing the hands towards the knee here. Make sure the tail is tucked and just pause in our crescent lunge. Leaving the left hand on the knee now, float that right hand behind you and take the gaze to follow it. Just challenging the balance a little bit here. One more breath. And bring that hand back to the knee. Bring both hands down to the mat now, and then just taking, heel toeing that right foot towards the edge of the mat, and then taking the left leg and extending it out beside you. Come down onto your forearms here if you want to feel a bit more of a stretch down the inside of that left leg. Just pausing here. You can stay up on the hands if that feels good enough for you today. Then everyone's going to meet on their hands, and we're going to float that left hand up towards the ceiling. Just a gentle twist in the spine. Bring both hands down to the floor, coming back into our box and pushing up into our downward dog here. Just take any movement that feels good for you, maybe shaking out the head, dropping that tension to the floor. And then a gentle bend in the knees, looking up towards the hands. Take the feet up to meet them, coming into our halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, coming into your forward fold. And then take a gentle bend in the knees here and just start to roll up, taking the hands up the shins, the thighs, stacking each one of those spinal bones on top of each other, head and shoulders coming up last. Okay, that's great. Let's do this on the other side now. So setting up your mountain, pushing down, pushing out, Hands to heart center. Inhale, float those hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, coming down into your forward fold. Inhale, coming up into your halfway lift, shoulders open. Exhale, bringing the hands down to the mat, taking that left foot back into your low lunge now. Leaning into the lunge here, making sure that that knee isn't overshooting the toe. Feeling that stretch down the back of the left leg now. As you exhale, pivoting the weight towards the back of the mat, peeling the right toe away from the floor. Remembering that you can bring the chest down to feel that more intensely if you want to. As we inhale, pivoting back into our lunge but bringing the hands up onto the knee here. Make sure the tail is tucked so we're not hanging out in our lower spine. Leaving the right hand on the right knee, floating that left hand behind you, taking the gaze to follow it. Really start to draw that belly button in towards the spine so you're using the core to keep you stable. One more breath here. Bringing the hand back to the knee now. Taking the hands down towards the mat, heel toeing that right foot towards the edge of the mat and off the mat now, and then extending the right leg long. From here you can choose to come down onto your forearms. If you did on the other side, then I recommend you do on this side as well. Just feeling that stretch down the inside of the right leg. Let's all meet back up onto our hands and then float that right hand up towards the ceiling. Just enjoy that openness through the chest. Float the hand back down and let's prepare for our downward dog, coming through box, pushing the hips back up, maybe pedaling out the feet here if you want to. Taking a deep breath in and releasing a breath out. Looking up towards the hands with a gentle bend in the knee, take the feet up to the top of the mat. Inhale, coming into your halfway lift. Exhale, coming into your forward fold. From here, bring the knees back down into the mat and come and stand on the knees here. Your knees are about hip distance apart. Bring the heels of the hands towards the base of the spine, fingertips are pointing down towards the mat. We're just going to push the hips forward slightly and then start to open the chest up towards the ceiling, being careful of the neck not to hang out in the back of the neck here. Squeeze those elbows towards each other. So just feel the openness from collarbone to collarbone. Continue to breathe here. We're just getting a gentle back bend. Bring yourself back up to center and then swing the legs out in front of you and bring yourself down to seated. The legs are extended. Let's just take the feet a little bit wider than we would usually and bring the fingertips beside you. The fingertips are pointing forwards. Roll those shoulders back and down and just take the gaze up towards the sky here. Shoulder blades are drawing towards each other. We're feeling open and lifted. Coming back up to center, taking a deep breath in as we take the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, folding, hinging at the hips, coming as far as you can, keeping a straight spine. Just allow the hands to settle on the shins. Maybe you can reach your toes. Just make sure you're comfortable. Then use that inhale to lengthen a little bit more through the torso and the exhale to draw you down towards the shins a little bit further. keep using that breath in the same way, lengthening on the inhale, drawing yourself down on the exhale. One more breath here. And sinking one more time. Inhale, bring yourself, the torso back up. And let's mindfully come down onto the floor, preparing for our Shavasana. Get into a comfortable position. Say to yourself, I deserve a moment to be still. Allow your body to absorb your practice today. And thank yourself for turning up on your mat to commit to your practice. Bring your focus back to your breath, taking a deep breath in and allowing a deep sigh out. Notice how your body feels. Allow yourself to think about any moments of joy you experienced in your practice today. Ask yourself whether you allowed yourself to be in the moment. When we explore the Kleshas, we come back to being able to rethink our assumptions and perspective. Being able to experience joy not only in what our attached selves perceive as success, but also in what we may also label as failure. Give yourself a second to think about that. Humans often do this because we're always thinking about the future, things we want or need, and we attach emotions to those things. There are a few questions that we may be able to ask ourselves to try and bring back our perspective. Is there an outcome I am telling myself I need in order to be happy? Can I remain happy even if this outcome doesn't happen? Am I making stories up about the future that are preventing me from enjoying the present? Are there things I am thankful for? People I can be grateful for that allow me to find peace in this moment? Just allow your thoughts to come one by one without judging or taking action. And if you feel your thoughts getting away from you, just bring your attention back to your breath. It's been my privilege to guide you in your practice today. Thank you for practicing with Roma Loves Yoga.